Hey everybody. Hey everybody. Cheap Comic Collector, episode 487. It's Monday, which means we should be having a claim sale tonight on Aaron's channel. And but the comics you see today will probably not be there. They will be in Saturday's claim sale. Right here on my channel. So I don't know what I'm going to show this far ahead on the Monday show. So because I record these a month ahead of time. But anyway, there is one comic here that I'll be showing tonight. I'm recording this on a Thursday, so I'm doing the chaotic comic book cover displays and more with friends tonight on Aaron's channel. And I'm going to be showing some beat up comics that are going into my collection that won't be a part of a sale because they're too beat up. You can see this one doesn't even have a back cover. But I love this cover. And I wanted to share it. It's all beat up. It's missing a big chunk here, and of course the back's gone. But such an awesome design on this cover. Very cool. So anyway, that's one of the ones I'll be showing tonight on his channel. You'll have seen it by now. It will have been a month ago by the time this airs. So anyway, today we are going to go through another flat rate box. And see what we get. So gonna put you up top here. Thanks for joining me today. Thanks for spending some time to go through my comics with me. We'll see you. You can hit that like button. That'd be awesome. And we have got a whatnot box. And it says there's, I think it's 52 comics, $50, yeah, $50.91, 96 cents a comic. So there ought to be something pretty cool in here. Oh, it is something pretty cool, but it's yeah, it's one of the Disney boxes. So I guess we're having a Disney episode today. This will be all Disney comics. They will be on the sale Saturday because more than likely have every single one of these because they're from the Gladstone runs. So they should be in, well, I was going to say they should be in good shape, but they are a little beat up. They got spine ticks and things on them. Looks like they were double bagged. So we got Uncle Scrooge number 237. Fun cover. And also number 238. $235. And $236. Yeah, we just got the bag wet from my Kool-Aid sitting here. The glass is sweating. Put it over to the side here. Don't want moisture getting anywhere near the comics. Well, that's what God made shirts for. Uncle Scrooge 233. I believe that reprints on a Carl Barks cover. And 234. 220. This one's got a stain on it. So I guess these are a little damaged. Probably might have paid a little too much for them then. Here's two copies of Mickey and Donald number 17, special double-sized Christmas issue. Or at least it's got a Christmas cover. Doesn't always mean there's a Christmas story inside. And there is number 18, also double-sized. Number 15. And number number 16. It's more Uncle Scrooge, 247. 248. 245. And 246. And these are the Disney ones that Disney self-published. After they took the license away from Gladstone. This is Uncle Scrooge number 243. This was the first Disney issue where they published it themselves. Number 244. And some more Gladstones. Here's number 240. And 239. Uncle Scrooge 242. And 241. And here's another Disney published issue, 254. 255. And 257. Dinosaur cover. And 256. 260. And 258. That's a fun cover. Gator's like, ooh, I'm having duck for dinner. 263. That's a Don Rosa cover. And also another shark cover. 261. A lot of shark covers in comics. 279. Another Don Rosa. And 278. Another Don Rosa cover. 282. And 281. So this was the first issue where they had given the license back to Gladstone, because Gladstone was the publisher. Disney wanted to do it themselves. They basically did a really terrible job at it and then gave it back to Gladstone again. There's 283, and this is a Don Rosa cover as well. Very cool. Uncle Scrooge, 284. And it's for Mickey and Donald. There's number 2. And number 1. Nice. Unfortunately, it's got a little... Oh, that's actually on the bag. Never mind. I was going to say it's got a lot of... It does have wear. It's got little tears and spine ticks and things, but this wear on the bottom was actually on the bag. So, Mickey and Donald number 4. And number 3, Infinity cover. Number 5. And number 6. Number 7. And number 8. Number 9. Another Christmas cover. And 10. Number 12. And number 13. And then this is a special 250th anniversary issue of Uncle Scrooge. If I remember right, this is a wraparound cover. Yep. Got some spine wear in there. But a nice wraparound cover by William Van Horn. And it reprints The Lemming with the Locket by Carl Barks. And some stories by the artist creator known as Vicar, which is, I believe, I believe he created his stories for the Denmark group of Disney publishers. And there's Uncle Scrooge 249. And lastly, I have a kind of a Christmas cover, number 251. And 253, reprinting The Fabulous Philosopher's Stone. Excuse me. So good stuff in these comics, guys. Lots of great Disney stories. A lot of reprints, a lot of new material that hadn't been published in America before. Like I said, this one reprints The Fabulous Philosopher's Stone, where they're in search of the stone that turns things to gold. And of course, they find it. Well, if I remember correctly, Don Rosa did a follow-up to that story, or perhaps he just used some of the characters in another story. I don't quite remember. But the Mickey and Donald series, they don't usually have Mickey and Donald in the same stories. Occasionally, back in the 30s, like in the newspaper strips, they did some stories where Donald was in them as part of Mickey's gang. But like for the purposes of this comic, for the most part, they're just different stories. You know, some are Mickey Mouse stories, some are Donald Duck stories. So they basically created the title to expose more people to Mickey Mouse, knowing that people would pick it up because Donald Duck was in it. So this one does reprint a Carl Barks 10-pager from Walt Disney's Comics and Stories. This looks like a pretty early one. This was from number 90, so yeah. And one of the nice things about that Gladstone did is they gave actual credits. This is probably the first time, I think it was the first time that any Disney comics gave credits to the creators. Before this, you know, Disney was published by Dell and Whitman, Gold Key. Nobody ever got credit for their work. Nobody. They all say by Walt Disney, right? So, but that's one of the things that Gladstone changed, is they gave credit where credit was due. They tell you who did the front cover. They tell you the story, who did it, where it's from. Like this one, Mickey Mouse on Pirate Key, is actually a story from Mickey Mouse 4-color number 248, and it was published in 1949. And even the foreign stories that are the first printing for the American audience, they tell you as much as they can who created it. Sometimes, like this second story, this one-page Donald Duck story that's here, this one, it just says produced by Gutenberg's Group, which is a company in I think Denmark, that produced stories, but they don't know the actual creators, so that they credit it like that. And and in previous issues, they would credit. They would tell you how to read these numbers that are always in the first panel, because that's the story code that the different publishers would use to order a story from Disney or whatever if they wanted to use it. So the D basically stands for Denmark. It's number 4930. So it's just a stock number, really. And even something like this, which is a reprint of a Mickey Mouse Sunday strip from 1933, it's got KFS and then the date. So that means King Features Syndicate, who was the publisher of the newspaper strip, and then the date of that actual strip was January 22nd, 1933. And so on and so forth. And the same thing with these. This is also a Sunday strip reprinted, reformatted to fill in 2 pages. But it's KFS 12/15/35. And then this would have been a Donald Duck strip, a single Donald Duck strip. But this one was dated KFS 12/21/38, which is interesting because there was probably a Mickey Mouse strip for that date too. So if they did all of those the same, they would have the same code number. And I've never seen them differentiate from that. So that's interesting. But it's a nice little shortcut for me to know where the stories are from and so forth. A lot of people are be like, "Oh, I'm astonished by your Disney Comics knowledge," and it's just that I know, I go like this and I say, "Oh, this is such and such by so and so and so." It's because I'm reading it here, or I see that little code number, and I know what that means. So that's how I'm able to rattle off dates and issue numbers and so forth so quickly. It's a little cheat. And sometimes I reckon, like when I say it's a Carl Barks cover or it's a Don Rosa cover, is because I recognize the artist's style. This one I don't really know. I'm gonna guess it's Russell Schroeder. Nope, wrong. Dan Yips did this one. But that's how this works. Like sometimes you get puzzled a little bit. Like this one says Mickey Mouse in Postman's Puzzle. The code is actually CP4. Well, that means Christmas Parade number 4, which is a series of Dell Giants that they did. And then they don't actually credit the reprint in the credits on this issue. Like I just said, they always do. So that's a little bit different. I guess sometimes they did, sometimes they didn't. And then this Donald Duck in Toyland. This is by Carl Barks. This is an early Carl Barks story with Santa Claus. But this one's coded FGA 1948. So in the 40s, they had sometimes gas stations and things like that would give away comic books, right? They would have so the FGA stands for Firestone Giveaway 1948, because they actually had a Christmas giveaway at Firestone for several years in the 40s. That had it was called like Donald and Mickey, or Mickey and Donald, something like that. And it had like each issue had a Carl Barks Christmas story in it. As well, of course, as a Mickey Mouse story. So, and then this one is actually titled AR 134. Well, AR is for Another Rainbow, which is the parent company of Gladstone. So this is a brand new story. This is done by William Van Horn. It's brand new. It's never been reprinted before. This is the first printing of that actual story, which is very, very special that they did that, because so many comics before this, Western was basically very rarely at the end of their run where they were just doing reprints. They would reprint stuff forever. And then even when Boom took over the license and IDW was doing the licensing, they didn't produce new material. For the most part, they just reprinted foreign stories and imported things mainly from Italy. It was mostly all Italian comics, and that's one of the reasons they weren't having success with it. They had translators that didn't know what they were translating, didn't understand the how to make it the characters' voices talk in a translation, so that they would read true, things like that. So Mickey and Donald #1 here, it's a little rough. It is a little rough shape. It's got some waviness right here just for a bit, and it's got quite a few spine ticks and tabs and things. So this one's a little bit beat up, but it's the first issue. Says the front cover is by Dan Yips, but I would have sworn this was a Firestone giveaway cover, so he must have redrew it. For this issue, I guess. So not what I was expecting in here. We've got the first story is Mickey Mouse, The Trail to Treasure, which is just a one-shot story from Walt Disney's Comics and Stories 242, not a Christmas story. But then we have New Toys, Donald Duck, which is a Carl Barks story from the Firestone giveaway from 1949. So that's cool. And then the Mickey Mouse story, also from that issue, Christmas Surprise. This was done by Bill Wright, but it was also from that Firestone giveaway. And these, I think a lot of the time, these are the first time these have been reprinted, because they weren't part of the normal publishing things where like Dell or Whitman would reuse them. And then we actually have a new story in the back by Don Rosa. It's called Fir Tree Fracas. And Donald is decorating his tree with the help of specially designed decorations by Gladstone Gander. And of course it ends up getting wrecked. But yeah, just great stuff in these issues. I could not, I searched high and low every time these came out. It was so hard for me to get a hold of these where I lived. There was only, one or two places I could find them, and then somebody would, a grocery store or something might carry them for a little bit, but sporadically, and then you never see them again. And I would search high and low every time and make special trips to try and get these when they came out. So yeah, this is special stuff, guys. If you're a Disney fan and you've never read the comics, these are great. A great way to do that, and not only get new comics that are hilarious by Don Rosa, but also get classics from the past that are just so much better than anything being published today. So anyway, enough of me ranting. The old man, let the old man enjoy his comics. Tomorrow we'll open another box, see what's in that one, and I think I still have another box of Disney comics that came in somewhere. So I'll try to, if I find that one, I will switch to a different box so that we're not overloading the sale with the same type books. But anyway, thanks for watching. Please hit the like button on your way out, and I'll see you soon.